Hello, Dr. Bates. This is Elizabeth Forrester, and I'm presenting on research innovations and trends, my annotative bibliography articles. I decided on using the innovation or the trend, depending on how you look at it, of the flipped classroom model. I read 4 articles on the flipped classroom model, and the reason I felt strongly about this is because I'm part of the project-based learning team at my school. That it's a state initiative, and it will be the 3rd year next year, and I will get to start teaching project-based learning to my colleagues from what we've been learning. And one of the techniques we've been learning is the flipped classroom. The use of instructional videos in leadership education and higher education under COVID-19, a qualitative study, was a qualitative study based in a Chinese university, and it was a leadership course, and there are 24 videos pre-recorded for students that were assigned before classroom lectures. They were about theory and scenarios, and when they came to class, then they would discuss the lecture or discuss the theories and scenarios that were talked about. The method This method allowed lecture times for the online class to be shortened to 2 hours instead of 3, which some students said was beneficial because of attention span. The study focused on the experience and perceptions of students and the benefits of using videos in leadership instruction. The results were positive. There were some notes that the author made about higher order thinking and being able to, the flexibility of stopping and going back and rewatching something that they might not have understood or have time to do it at a different, before or after class if they needed to revisit a theory or topic. There were some problems brought up with that it might be too much information, that students would like to see it would like to learn more during the presentation and be able to watch the videos after to make connections. Overall, the flipped classroom was perceived as a positive experience for students at the college level. Another article I read was The Flipped Classroom in the Educational System, Trend or Effective Pedagogy Model Compared to Other Methodologies. This actually was my favorite article. It was a systematic review of 61 studies, and it looked at students from 6 years old up through college level. There were not many studies on elementary education, which was interesting to me, but there have been more studies recently, but there may be a gap in the research that could be filled. The trend of the flipped classroom, of course, is where videos or other information is provided before class, and when you get to class, you do more activities. It was seen as effective, predominantly from 12 years old and up, the middle school, high school, and college level. They did not have any studies that related for 16 to 18-year-olds. It was not significantly effective for elementary school students, and this could have been because of maturity, or the classroom is already doing activities that use higher order thinking and are active. The older they are, the older the students, the more this model is appropriate for information and using it in your classroom design. The effectiveness of using interactive electronic modules on student learning outcomes and education I thought was really interesting, but this is the study that was from a conference, so I decided not to use it. I did include one leadership article on collaborative leadership and trends of using collaborative leadership. It was embedded in a class, so it also did education too. Interprofessional education, and they said collaborative leadership is a trend that is big in the leadership fields right now. It was a quantitative study and a qualitative study. They used a pre-test and post-test for the quantitative part of it, but they did not ask demographic information about prior leadership experiences. The qualitative study was a poster presentation and reflection. I worry that the poster presentation would have too much artistic subjectiveness than the reflection that could be coded. So during the class, there were 2 classes dedicated to it to embed it in an interprofessional education model for medical personnel and students, and then 1 webinar. It was said there were significant impacts. The social change model has 3 values, and there was a significant impact on the leadership perspective in the group values, but not in the individual or community. The individual value was already high to start with, and that also might have been important to get the demographic information to see what the background of students might have been. Overall, the flipped classroom model and collaborative leadership embedded into classroom design showed significantly positive results. Thank you.